Hey there guys, and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if it's your first time. Today we're talking DAPs, specifically the iBasso DX180. Let's get it. What's cracking, audio fans? David here from Prime Audio Reviews. So check out this beauty, the iBasso DX180. There are two versions of this device. The first one has got 3 GB of RAM and 32 gigs of internal storage. That is priced at $469. And the other version has got 4 GB of RAM and 128 GB of internal storage. That one is $529. Now inside of here, we've got quad Cirrus Logic CS43131 DAC chips. They're great DACs, been in a bunch of dongles and other stuff. I'm a fan of their sound. We've got Android 13 here, which we'll look at real soon. But first of all, let's have a look at the exterior, beginning with this lovely display here. This is a 5-inch display from Sharp. And look at those thin bezels. Awesome. It's almost entirely screen on the front there. Then you've probably noticed this volume knob here already, which is also a power button. We'll have a look at the OS in a sec. On the side, there are some playback buttons, your pause, forward and reverse, etc. On the bottom, we've got 2 headphone outputs, 4.4mm balanced and 3.5mm single-ended. And on the top here, we've got a micro SD card slot, which supports cards up to 2 terabytes. You can fit a lot of music on there. And our USB port for charging and data transfer. And I want to show you the back now. That's what it looks like. So it's kind of a plastic back, but see this little panel here with the 2 screws? You can actually remove the back panel, and this is huge because if you're spending $400 or $500 on a DAP, you want to know it's got some longevity. So iBasso kindly has implemented a removable back cover which lets you access the battery, and you can swap out the battery if the original one fails. That is awesome. There are a few other things I'd like to point out before we have a look inside. Powering this device, we've got an 8-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 665 SoC, or system on chip. The battery inside is a 3200 milliamp battery. It delivers up to 15.5 hours of playback from the balanced output, which is good, and a very nice 30 hours from the line out. So these 2 headphone jacks on the bottom can also be used as coaxial outs. The DX180 supports PD3 and QC3. You can get a full charge in about 84 minutes. Now, as you would expect, the device supports up to 32-bit 768 kHz and DSD512. In addition, of course, we get high-res Bluetooth, including LDAC and aptX HD. And yes, it does have wireless as well, so you can do over-the-air updates, wireless streaming, and just wireless in general. You can use this device as an external DAC, of course, and I'd like to point out it was really clever the way that iBasso implemented the ports. So you get your 2 headphone outs at the bottom, and then your USB-C is at the top, which makes a lot of sense because if you're plugging it into your PC and you want to listen, it's the perfect orientation. I like that. Alright, let's have a look at this UI and software. So here we are now on the homepage, and it's your regular Android setup. If you've used any modern smartphone, you'll feel perfectly at home. It comes with a few things pre-installed, including Google Play Store, which means you can start installing apps right out of the box. It also comes with Aptoid, which is another kind of app store that's pretty cool. So I've installed YouTube, Tidal, Spotify, UAPP, a few other things. Thanks to that Snapdragon 665, it's pretty powerful. You can watch videos on here. You can even play basic games on here if you want to. Swiping right will take you to your other desktops or pages. Swiping left opens up the iBasso Mango player. Now this is their proprietary player. and it's pretty good. I don't mind it at all. Some people, of course, will prefer their power amps, or you can even get foobar on Android. Personally, I like the Mango player. So let's have a look at it now. This is the now playing screen, and it pretty much looks like any other Android audio player with your playback controls, a few extra options down the bottom here. You can get to the extra settings, music settings, via the cog up in the corner there. Gapless, low and high gain, play mode. You've got equalizers here. You've got a graphic equalizer, of course, with a few presets, or you can do a custom one. And then you've got a parametric EQ, which I know people get very excited about, and you can really tweak the sound. You can tweak the sound to your heart's content using that. Gives you a lot of customization options. Then you can do all your other things in here. Select your digital filter, do a media scan, USB DAC mode, etc, etc. By the way, before we go further into the Mango player, let's just come back out here for a second, because I want to show you something. Just like a regular Android phone, if you swipe down from the top, you get a little shortcut menu. If you swipe down again, that menu expands, and you get some quick shortcuts to your music features here, like the gain mode, the FIR filter mode, your digital filters. And then if you swipe to the left, you get a couple more options as well. So going back to that music player, from the now playing screen, this is where it gets a little bit quirky. Normally, on a lot of players, you could press that, and that would take you back to sort of the main music library options. But for some reason on this one, you have to press there and then swipe left, and that will give you your library options there. But let's just go back to, you see what I mean? It's a bit quirky. It takes a while to get used to. So here we are in the album view. You can see all the album art there, and look how responsive it is. You don't have to wait for any of those images to load. It's all there nice and quick. So if you just tap on one, there you go, you get your song list. Tap on it again, and it starts playing. And if you press down there you go, you get the now playing screen. And if there's lyrics, you can pop them up there. So it's a really capable little player, but like I said, of course, if you want, you can install other music apps. So here, for example, is my UAPP app. Just pretty much the same, although there's a few more options on here. It's a little bit easier to navigate, in my opinion. I think I've covered most of the features. I've probably forgotten some, and if there's something I've missed, you can let me know down in the comments below. But let's get into the important stuff. Let's talk about how it sounds now. And first of all, I will say it's got some pretty impressive output power. We're talking about 690 milliwatts from the balanced output. So that's more than enough power for any IEM you can throw at it. It's also enough power for a surprisingly large range of full-size headphones, including your HD6 whatevers. So my HD650s run on here just fine, not an issue at all. It doesn't even break a sweat. And I'd characterize the DX180's sound as being neutral, with a slight emphasis on the treble. And that's not to say that it sounds bright, but it's just more revealing and transparent than most of my other DAPs. It's no secret, like I said, I'm a fan of that CS43131 chipset, and I love how iBasso has implemented 4 of them in this little device. So you get this beautiful black background. The subsystem is completely inaudible, even when you're using sensitive IEMs. By the way, one thing I forgot to mention, the DX180, it bypasses the Android subsystem, so there's no downsampling of your music or sample rates. You get the full bit perfect playback every time, whether that's with the Mango player, third-party apps, or streaming apps, everything. The dynamic range and the signal to noise ratio are both outstanding, which it's like 133 decibels from the balanced output. That's fantastic. And what that does with the black background, it creates a nice open and spacious sound. It's got very precise and immersive imaging. It puts you right in the middle of the music. It's got quite a large sound and everything. It's such an organized soundstage because you've just got that blackness in between instruments. So this makes for fantastic imaging. It's got great end-to-end extension. The bass notes sound nice and full and textured. The treble though is just stunning. It's airy, yet it's precise. It's ultra detailed. Great extension, like I said. It's outstanding, but it's very smooth in the treble. You know, ultimately, this DAP just sounds super transparent, detailed, it's spacious, it's dynamic, and yet despite having that sort of really excellent technical performance and fantastic detail retrieval, it still sounds very musical and very natural. It paired flawlessly with all the stuff that I tested and paired it with. You know, things like my Spiral Ear SE6 Nebula here, which is a super sensitive and very resolving IEM. Sounds amazing with this DAP. My Sennheiser HD650s that I mentioned sound fantastic on here. Put it on high gain, just magic. I did forget to mention one thing about the build. That is that the corners are quite sharp. They're pretty edgy. So I would definitely suggest using either the provided case, the one that comes in the box, or one of the leather ones from iBasso, or I'm sure there will be third-party ones available soon as well. I guess I didn't show you the main system settings. It's basically, yeah, just like your average phone settings, all the stuff. You can change your wallpaper, change your display settings. You can also change your brightness just from the little shortcut menu there as well. So it's a really handy little system. You can see how speedy and zippy it is. It's an absolute pleasure to use, and it also sounds amazing. Like, this is, I would say pretty safely, definitely the best sort of mid-tier DAP that I have heard personally. The sound signature kind of reminds me a bit of Astel and Kern DAPs. It's just got that real beautiful, clean, crisp and pristine sound. And I'm not going to do any comparisons with other DAPs in this video, but I have done a couple on the written review, and there's a link to that in the description down below. So to sum up, this is the iBasso DX180. Obviously, I think it's fantastic. Highly recommend it. I don't think nothing comes to mind in that price range that does it better than this one. And whenever I leave the house now, this is my new daily driver for on the go. So I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, Pa Family Audiophile style. And if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button before you go. It really helps out the channel. And until next time, see you later.